Guys, look at this. Beautiful. That is a sandwich to be remembered right there. This is the Reuben. I'm going to show you how to make this darling. Oh, it's a classic, it's delicious, and everybody should know how to make a homemade Reuben. Everyone, welcome back to Texas Cooking Today. On this episode, as you've seen, we're going to be making a very good looking sandwich. It's called a Reuben. Reubens are delicious. Reubens were invented in the United States, folks. This is a fantastic sandwich that has sharp flavors running through it, and then it is offset with a slight sweetness in the sauce. It's very, very special. So I'll tell you what. Let's get into making this fabulous sandwich and getting this beautiful piece of meat down in the pot and cooking. Other things that you're going to need, folks, you're going to need some bread, okay? Pick out whatever bread you want. A lot of people use rye for this. You can use Jewish rye. You can use pumpernickel. You can use what I'm going to use today, which will be sourdough. Any bread that has a strong, sharp flavor to it works well with this sandwich. If you're afraid of sauerkraut, don't be, because you use a little bit of it and it works so well with the other flavors. If you don't like corned beef, you might be surprised how good it tastes when it's done this way and when it's put in the form of a sandwich. So don't shy away from this if you don't like any of the ingredients here, because you'll be surprised at what you get when you bite into that delicious, crispy crust on the sandwich and taste those flavors marrying together. It's very special. Okay guys, come on over. Let's get this meat in the pot. Okay folks, here we go. We're gonna get into making this wonderful little goodie. I'm gonna grab a pair of tongs and I'm gonna get my meat here in this pot. You're gonna need a large pot. Now what corned beef is, guys, that is beef that has been pickled. If you've ever eaten this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you're new to it, you need to try it. It has a very unique flavor. Now, something you need to know. Whether you bake this in the oven, roasting it, or whether you boil it, the meat itself is going to have this strange red look to it, a pinkish red. Very much the same color that you see right here, right now. It's going to keep a lot of that color. We have our meat in our pot. I'm going to get some water in here. Oh yeah. Bring this to a boil. Now folks, your corned beef probably came with a seasoning packet. One of those little gems right there. In this case, after the water comes to a boil, and after we've done a little bit of work treating the water and got it to simmer, then we put these herbs down in that, the herbs and spices. So we have our water up where it needs to be. There is a high flame underneath this, bringing it up in temperature. Pretty soon this is going to start coming up to a boil. And as it does, it's going to start kicking out some fats and some of the sodium and things like that that are in the outside of the meat, and it'll collect on top of the water. And what you want to do is to have a bowl and a spoon handy, just like this here. And we're going to take that spoon and we will very gently skim what comes up to the surface of the water off. How long does it take to cook this? Well, you're looking at around probably 3 to 4 hours. We're going to cook it until it becomes fork tender. Now folks, if you'll look, we have exactly what I was talking about, that buildup coming up to the surface of the water from the meat. This is basically just the scum that comes off of the fat and like I said, some of the sodium that's on the outside of the meat forming together. So if you look at it this way, I guess a corned beef like this is just like politics in the United States. The scum always rises to the top. Go figure, huh? So anyway, we're going to pull that off. Now, why am I pulling this out of here? It's really simple. This contains certain flavors that I don't necessarily want to cook back down into the meat. Okay guys, now we've gotten it to where pretty much all of the scum has been removed. There's a little bit of white floating around on top, but that's about all we're getting now. So I'm going to go ahead and cut open that spices packet that they provided me. I'm going to put it right down in there. Okay, I don't have to be pretty about that. Get that to mix into the water. There we go. You do not need to put salt or anything like that in this water. In fact, avoid that because the meat has already been prepared in such a way that that is totally unnecessary. All I have to do now is cover this, reduce the temperature, and let it simmer. So that's going to sit there for a few hours, give it time. Okay guys, let's get on with preparing our sandwiches. I'm going to put a little mayonnaise on it and I'm going to toast it with mayonnaise. I know, it sounds weird. Once you try it, you're going to be surprised at the outcome from it. Now I decided to make a special spread for the inside of my bread. And what I'm going to use here is simply some sweet relish and some stone ground mustard. The two of these equal portions mixed together. Very simple. Traditionally, when it comes to the Reuben sandwich, it normally would have Thousand Island dressing on it. So what I've done with the mustard is I've created a dressing for the inside of my bread that is still sweet the way the Thousand Island dressing would be, but a little more tart the way mustard would be. So I have a beautiful combination. Looky there. It has been boiling for 4 hours. That's fully cooked. It is literally falling apart tender. And yet, it still has that red color. I have warmed up some sauerkraut in a pot. I didn't add much extra water. You want your kraut to be quite dry when you do this. Now we just need to break out some bread and get ready to make this delicious sandwich. Now, I don't want a whole lot of this, but I do want a light coating of mayo on the outside of this bread. On the inside surface of the top piece, I want, again, a very light coating of my dressing. It doesn't take a lot. Okay, this is a pungent dressing that I have made for this. You can call it a sauce if you want, but it is a very robust flavor. As my pan is heating, I'm going to go ahead and assemble the sandwich. Mayonnaise side down, okay, on my heat. Then we're going to take our cheese and meat and line it out. A little cheese on here. Beautiful. There we go. Beautiful. So the next thing that hits our sandwich is going to be a little bit of that sauerkraut. Let's get a better view on that. Now we don't have to drown it in sauerkraut, folks. Just a little bit is more than enough. And get the kraut that's on top, not on bottom. You don't want it to be too wet. You want it to be dry. Again, with our cheese. Okay, folks, this is a matter of giving it time to toast and allowing that cheese to melt. I'm going to go ahead and hit the other side of the bread. A little more mayo. So now I just got to turn this guy. There we go. As soon as that's finished toasting on the other side, it's ready to be plated up. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe my sandwich is ready. Let's give this a nice cut. Beautiful, isn't it? That's an exciting, delicious, robust, full-bodied sandwich. Well, there it is, folks. I tell you what, this king of sandwiches right there. A lot of people that have had these before, you're going to love this take on it. There's not many changes, but what little changes were made are divine. Okay? And for those of you who've never had a Reuben, oh goodness me, folks, you're in for a treat. Guys, please enjoy this sandwich. You just made one of the best ones. I would like to say thank you very much to my subscribers, guys. Here's to you. Cheers. And to those of you who haven't subscribed, please, there's a little check button down there. Please subscribe and hit the bell, and I'll let you know every time I have something fresh come out. I'm always putting out fresh recipes, and the techniques that you're going to find on this show are different from any other. So thank you for watching Texas Cooking Today. Folks, like I said, subscribe if you would, thumbs up, and you folks have a good day. Bye-bye.